In a galaxy trembling on the edge of despair, the ancient civilizations of the Allied systems looked to one another for salvation. An encroaching darkness swept through star systems, consuming planets and leaving silence in its wake. It wasn't an enemy they could see or understand. It was a force that extinguished life and hope with equal ease. The Council of Elder Stars convened to deliberate on their final strategy. Representatives from dozens of species gathered, their advanced technologies and wisdom seemingly useless against the menace. They spoke of alliances, of ancient weapons buried in forgotten planets, and even of retreat. But no solution seemed viable. As the discussions turned into arguments, an unexpected voice rose. The human ambassador, Captain Elise Terran, stood amidst the chaos. Her kind was relatively new to the galactic fold, a species known for their persistence and unpredictability. She carried with her a message not of technology or tactics, but of resilience. Humans, Elise began, her voice steady yet filled with conviction, have faced extinction more times than we can count. We've battled forces far stronger and smarter than us. Each time, we stood firm because we believed in one thing: hope. The council chamber grew silent. These were beings who lived for millennia, who shaped stars and bent space to their will. Hope was an alien concept to them, something they had dismissed long ago in favor of logic and power. Elise's words resonated not because of their grandeur, but because of their simplicity. She reminded the Council of Humanity's history of defying the odds, of finding light in the darkest moments. Against the protests of some, a desperate resolution was passed: Earth would lead the final stand. Humanity mobilized in a way that surprised even themselves. The entire planet transformed into a single, unified effort. Scientists worked tirelessly, engineers built ships capable of crossing galaxies, and soldiers prepared for a battle the likes of which they had never seen. But it wasn't just the military that rose to the occasion. Artists painted banners of hope, writers inspired courage with their words, and communities across the globe reached out to one another in solidarity. As fleets departed Earth, humanity's allies watched in awe. The humans weren't the strongest or the most technologically advanced, but their spirit burned brighter than any star. Each vessel carried not only soldiers but also symbols of Earth's indomitable will: music, books, art, all the things that defined what it meant to be human. When the Allied fleet reached the edge of the encroaching darkness, the true nature of the threat was revealed. It wasn't a physical enemy but a manifestation of despair, feeding off the fears and doubts of those it encountered. The Allied ships faltered as the force seeped into their minds, but the human fleet pressed forward. Elise led the charge, her ship broadcasting Earth's most defiant songs and stories across the Allied fleet's channels. The sounds of Beethoven, the words of Shakespeare, and the images of human triumph flooded the minds of their allies, rekindling a spark they had long forgotten. Human soldiers deployed in specialized suits designed to shield them from the despair. They carried weapons not just of metal but of hope, devices that projected holograms of Earth's greatest achievements, reminding all who saw them of the beauty worth fighting for. The battle raged not in physical space but within the minds and souls of those who fought. For every ally that faltered, a human was there to lift them up, to share a story, a song, a memory of Earth's resilience. The darkness recoiled, unable to consume a force it could not understand. In the end, it wasn't a weapon that defeated the darkness but the collective spirit of those who stood against it. Humanity's hope had become contagious, spreading through the Allied fleets like wildfire. Together, they pushed the darkness back, reclaiming lost systems and reigniting the stars. When the battle was over, the galaxy looked at humanity with new eyes. They weren't the most advanced or the strongest, but they had something far more powerful: the ability to inspire. The Allied systems vowed never to forget the lesson humanity had taught them. Elise returned to Earth a hero, but she always insisted the victory belonged to everyone. Hope, she said in her final address to the Council, isn't something one species can claim. It's something we all carry within us, waiting to be shared. And so, the galaxy moved forward, forever changed by the species that answered the call when hope seemed lost. The victory over the consuming darkness was just the beginning of a broader awakening in the galaxy. The aftermath of the battle saw an era of rebuilding not only planets but also the spirit of unity among species that had long grown apart. On Earth, humanity was forever changed by its role in the galactic salvation. The unity they had fostered in the face of annihilation persisted, creating a new global culture centered on collaboration and innovation. Spaceports blossomed across continents, welcoming alien visitors who wished to learn about the indomitable human spirit. Earth became a beacon of inspiration, a hub for storytelling, and a symbol of resilience. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, humans were invited to share their stories, songs, and lessons with civilizations that had once dismissed them. Artists, musicians, and teachers from Earth traveled to distant worlds, weaving the narrative of hope into the fabric of alien societies. Humanity's simplest traditions, like lighting candles in the dark or singing to uplift the weary, spread like wildfire, becoming universal symbols of resilience. Elise Taryn, though a celebrated hero, refused to rest. She became an ambassador not of diplomacy but of storytelling, believing that the power of shared experiences could unite the galaxy. Her speeches, laced with tales of human perseverance, became legendary. She would often say, "We may not have the strongest weapons or the oldest wisdom, but we have stories that can light up the darkest night." But even as the galaxy basked in the glow of unity, whispers of a new shadow emerged. In the unexplored edges of the universe, strange phenomena were reported. Worlds falling silent, stars flickering out in ways that defied science. Elise, alongside a diverse crew of humans and allies, embarked on a mission to uncover the truth. The journey brought them to the edge of existence, where the remnants of the consuming darkness lingered, evolving into something new. This time, it wasn't despair but apathy, a force that drained the will to fight, to create, to hope. It was a threat that could not be defeated with weapons or brute force, only with a spark of inspiration. Elise and her crew faced trials that tested their bonds and resolve. They revisited Earth's history, finding forgotten tales of human ingenuity and courage to share with their allies. Together, they crafted new stories, combining the perspectives and strengths of every species they encountered. In the climactic moment, as the apathy threatened to engulf them, Elise stood at the forefront. With a simple hologram projector, she played a montage of humanity's most defining moments, acts of kindness, bravery, and perseverance. The crew joined her, each sharing their own tales. The collective narrative became a light that pierced through the apathy, reigniting the will to live and create in every soul it touched. The galaxy learned another invaluable lesson that day. Hope wasn't just a weapon against despair, it was the foundation of existence itself. Creativity, connection, and the desire to leave a legacy were what made life worth living. When Elise and her crew returned, they were no longer seen as mere saviors but as keepers of the galaxy's collective soul. They carried the message that no matter how advanced or ancient a civilization might be, it was the stories they shared and the hope they nurtured that defined them. The galaxy continued to thrive, united not by technology or power but by an understanding of their shared humanity, or rather, shared sentience. And Earth, the once overlooked blue dot, became the heart of a galaxy that now understood the true power of hope and storytelling. Elise Taryn's name reverberated through the galaxy like an ancient hymn, a call to arms, and a story of redemption all in one. Her mission to defeat the consuming darkness had been the most monumental turning point in galactic history, but for Elise, the journey was far from over. The victory brought not peace but responsibility, a commitment to ensure the galaxy never fell into such despair again. On Earth, Elise was a legend, but she chose to reject the comforts of fame. Instead, she traveled to planets still healing, spreading the seeds of hope and resilience. She carried no weapon, only a small journal filled with Earth's most enduring stories. To the skeptics, she said, "Stories are our greatest defense. They remind us who we are and what we fight for." Among her travels, Elise often visited the planet Velna Prime, a world ravaged by centuries of war and still struggling to rebuild its identity. She worked alongside alien leaders and common folk alike, teaching children songs of courage and encouraging elders to share their own tales of survival. Bit by bit, the fragments of Velna Prime's culture began to reassemble, its people reclaiming the will to live and to dream. But the shadow of apathy loomed larger than anyone had anticipated. Reports began to flood in from the galactic frontier. Ships that ventured too far would return empty, their crews listless and indifferent. Planets known for their vibrant artistry and innovation suddenly became void of creativity, their inhabitants apathetic husks of who they once were. It was as if the darkness Elise had defeated had left behind a scar, one that festered in the unseen corners of the universe. Elise knew what she had to do. Calling upon a coalition of the galaxy's finest thinkers, artists, and storytellers, she proposed an ambitious project. The Eternal Flame Initiative. This would be a living library of every story, every triumph, every song, and every piece of wisdom that every species had ever created. It would travel from system to system, rekindling the flames of creativity and hope wherever they flickered out. The initiative launched aboard the Lightweaver, a ship unlike any other. Its core was a massive holographic archive capable of projecting immersive environments from any story it housed. Elise and her team, artists, scientists, and dreamers from 100 worlds, set out to the darkest regions of space. Their journey brought them to silent worlds that seemed devoid of life. On one such planet, an enormous city sat empty, its streets overrun with vines and its skies eerily quiet. Elise activated the Lightweaver's archive, projecting scenes of vibrant Earth festivals. Slowly, figures emerged from the shadows, alien beings with dull, glazed eyes that began to brighten as music filled the air and lights danced in the night. The inhabitants, once consumed by apathy, began to remember. They told Elise that their people had given up, believing their stories and songs had no meaning in a universe so vast and indifferent. Elise smiled, her voice firm but kind. Meaning isn't something we wait for. It's something we create. Every story, every song, every act of kindness shapes the universe. Word of the Eternal Flame Initiative spread. On planets where despair threatened to take root, people began to create again. They sang old songs, wrote new ones, and shared their experiences, not just to survive but to thrive. The initiative's archives grew exponentially, filled with tales of bravery, love, and loss from every corner of the galaxy. But Elise and her crew were not without challenges. On a desolate moon, they encountered remnants of the consuming darkness, a twisted echo of its former self, now bent on extinguishing the very idea of hope. It attacked the Lightweaver, corrupting its systems and erasing parts of the archive. In their darkest hour, Elise turned to her journal, the one she had carried from Earth. It contained only one story, her own. She shared it with her crew, bearing every scar, every doubt, and every triumph. Her words became a rallying cry, inspiring her team to fight back with their greatest weapon, creativity. Together, they repaired the archive, using the very stories the darkness sought to destroy to defeat it. The Lightweaver emerged from the battle stronger than ever, its mission renewed. Years later, Elise passed on, her journal enshrined at the heart of the archive. But her legacy endured in every story told, in every child who sang a song of courage, and in every star that shone just a little brighter because someone dared to dream. And so, the galaxy learned an unshakable truth. When hope fades, it is not technology or power that answers the call, but the simple, unyielding act of storytelling. And through those stories, life prevails. Elise Terran's legacy became the bedrock of a new galactic ethos, inspiring millions across civilizations to view storytelling not just as entertainment, but as a vital force for survival. Her work with the Eternal Flame Initiative outlived her mortal years, evolving into a galactic institution that served as both a library and a sanctuary for cultural preservation. The initiative established permanent hubs on key planets, where species could freely exchange tales, music, and artifacts of their heritage. These centers became more than places of learning, they were spaces for healing. Survivors of interstellar conflicts and victims of apathy found solace in contributing their stories, transforming personal grief into collective resilience. In one corner of the galaxy, a young alien named Zar from the shadowed world of Nyther visited a hub, carrying only an old, half-burned manuscript from his ancestors. Zar had grown up in a culture eroded by despair, where storytelling was seen as a feudal art. But upon reading the tales preserved in the Eternal Flame Initiative's archive, Zar realized the importance of preserving his people's forgotten legacy. His contribution, a single, weathered story, became a celebrated epic that inspired the rebuilding of Nyther's shattered identity. Meanwhile, the Lightweaver continued its journey to uncharted territories, led by a new generation of dreamers inspired by Elise's vision. Among them was Daxon Reed, a young human artist who had grown up listening to the tales of Elise's exploits. Determined to expand the mission, Daxon proposed an ambitious plan to map the galactic psyche itself by documenting not just stories, but the emotions and symbols that connected all sentient beings. This project, called the Tapestry of Thought, sought to identify universal threads, concepts of courage, love, and loss that transcended species and culture. The work revealed something extraordinary. Despite the vast differences in biology and environment, all sentient beings shared an intrinsic yearning for connection and meaning. Yet, Even as the galaxy thrived, the remnants of apathy continued to lurk in the void. A deep space exploratory team encountered an anomaly, a blackened sphere floating in the void, emitting waves of lethargy. Investigating it, they discovered it was a relic of the darkness Elise had once defeated, now mutating into something subtler, yet equally insidious. The crew of the Lightweaver, now veterans in fighting such threats, approached cautiously. They projected stories of resilience directly into the sphere's core, using the tapestry of thought to craft a narrative so compelling that even the apathy could not resist. The sphere dissolved, leaving behind traces of its origins, a warning that the battle against despair was never truly over. Back on Earth, humanity continued to play its role as the galaxy's storytellers. New generations embraced their unique heritage, creating art and literature that celebrated not just their own history but the shared experiences of the galaxy. Earth's skies buzzed with ships from distant worlds, each visitor seeking to experience the birthplace of the Eternal Flame Initiative. On the centennial of Elise Terran's first journey, a ceremony was held at the Initiative's central hub, a massive space station orbiting a neutral star. Leaders, artists, and dreamers from countless civilizations gathered to honor her memory. A hologram of Elise's journal was projected, its pages turning to reveal her last, handwritten entry. Asterisk, we are more than the sum of our struggles. We are the stories we leave behind, the light we kindle in the hearts of others. As long as one soul dares to dream, the darkness will never win. Asterisk. The galaxy had changed irrevocably, not through conquest or domination, but through the quiet, unstoppable force of hope. Stories became the lifeblood of existence, and in them, Elise's spirit endured, a guiding star for all who sought the courage to face the unknown.